The restaurant buzzed with soft jazz music, the clinking of wine glasses, and the murmur of conversations. But at a corner table near the window, Emily sat frozen, her heart pounding against her chest. She had spent weeks preparing for this moment. She'd ordered a new dress online, navy blue, with flowy sleeves to cover the arms she was always self-conscious about. Her hair was curled, her makeup light but elegant. Tonight was supposed to be different. Tonight was her blind date, the first one in years. But instead of the laughter and butterflies she had secretly hoped for, Emily felt her soul crack into pieces. Across from her, Jake, the man her friend had set her up with, shoved back his chair, his face twisted in irritation. "You didn't tell me you were this size," he said bluntly, his eyes scanning her body like a cruel spotlight. "I can't do this. I have standards." The words cut deeper than a knife. Emily's throat tightened, her eyes burning, but she forced a shaky smile. "I understand," she whispered, even though every fiber of her being wanted to disappear. Jake stormed out without another word, leaving behind an untouched glass of water and a silence so heavy Emily could barely breathe. At the next table, a man in a tailored gray suit had been quietly observing. His dark eyes softened as he watched Emily lower her gaze, hiding the tears that threatened to spill. He knew that look, defeat mixed with shame. And something inside him stirred. He leaned slightly toward her table. "Excuse me," he said gently, his voice calm yet commanding. Emily blinked, startled. The man gave her a kind smile. "If he can't see the value of the woman sitting in front of me, then he's blind in more ways than one." Emily froze. Was this stranger really speaking to her? The man extended his hand. "My name's Daniel." Emily hesitated, her cheeks warm with embarrassment. "I'm Emily," she murmured. Daniel smiled wider, as if her name itself was something precious. "Emily, would you allow me the honor of joining you for dinner?" Her heart thudded. She should have said no. She didn't know him. But something in his tone, respectful, genuine, disarmed her walls. Slowly, she nodded. As the evening unfolded, Emily braced herself for pity, for condescending remarks dressed as kindness. But instead, Daniel asked about her favorite books, her dreams, the non-profit she volunteered at on weekends. He laughed at her jokes, and when she admitted she loved painting but was too shy to show anyone her art, he leaned in and said, "People who create beauty shouldn't hide it from the world." Emily felt a lump in her throat. No one had ever said that to her before. And when the waiter came to take their order, Daniel didn't blink when Emily ordered a pasta dish instead of a salad. He simply ordered the same. As if it was the most natural thing in the world. Halfway through the meal, Emily finally asked the question burning inside her. "Why did you come over?" Daniel's expression grew thoughtful. "Because I know what rejection feels like. People assume CEOs have it easy. But before this suit, before the corner office, I was just a kid who got laughed at for being poor, for showing up to school in second-hand shoes. I learned something back then: when people judge you for what they see, they almost always miss who you really are." His gaze softened. "And you, Emily, are someone worth knowing." Tears welled up in Emily's eyes, but this time they weren't born of pain. They were born of hope. For the first time in years, she didn't feel invisible. They lingered at that table long after the plates were cleared, lost in conversation, laughter, and moments that felt like they belonged in a story she had stopped believing she deserved. As they finally stood to leave, Daniel said something that would forever stay with her. "Emily, never let anyone convince you that your worth is measured by your reflection. The right people will see you, not your size, not your scars, not your doubts. Just you." Emily felt her chest swell with something she hadn't felt in a long time. Belief. She smiled, genuine, radiant, unguarded. And in that moment, she realized, the rejection that had shattered her heart had also opened the door to something far greater. In a world that often measures people by appearances, kindness and compassion remind us of a deeper truth: real worth is found in character, in courage, and in the way we love. Emily walked out of that restaurant not broken, but renewed. Because a stranger had chosen to see her humanity, not her weight. And sometimes, that's all it takes to change a life. What others see as flaws may actually be the most beautiful parts of who you are. Never settle for those who can't see your worth. The right ones will never make you doubt it.